Greetings and welcome back. It is time to remember the 20th amazing thing that happened to me in 2019, and it is going to be my trip to Sweden. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I did and saw there as I build this representation of the Skeppsholmen Hotel that I stayed in. A mosaic tile wall, and in the back you can see the Swedish flag in the concrete powder that I always put on the back wall of these things. So let's take a listen. So here we are in Sweden. Well, it looks a little bit more like a holodeck. Oh my gosh, Sweden was an amazing vacation. While I was there, I saw some amazing things. I stayed at a hotel on a little island in the Black Sea called Skeppsholmen, or the Island of Ships. I went and got a tour of Mojang and met a bunch of amazing Mojangstas. Some I already actually knew, like Sarge and Grum from past events. And I met Sliced Lime and Jab and actually spent time talking to these guys. Amazing. Felonius and he met up with me. We went to the Bergrummet, which was an old World War bunker that was renovated into a toy and comic museum. And then Felonius and I also went touring around Old Town Stockholm. Called Gamlastan, and I did some souvenir shopping, and we found some really hidden away behind thick black doors down an alley comic book shop. We both tried some new cuisine at a Bengalese restaurant. It was just so cool. And then we went to the Vasa Museum, or Vasa Museet, which was a giant Swedish sailing ship that ended up sinking because it was like the ballast wasn't right and it tilted to the left, I believe it was. When it did that, some water went in the cannon holes, and it basically sunk in the harbor. And then 300 years it sat under the mud and was resurrected or brought up, not resurrected, in, I think it was the 80s, if I remember correctly. And it was brought up and it was dried out, and it had been like really well preserved because of the cold and the salt water. And since it was in the by the dock, basically, nobody had messed with it. So it was not pirated or anything like that, which was really cool because it was still intact. And they're restoring it and they're maintaining it, and it was a really cool thing. And then we took a train down to Via, which is Felonius' home, and Katrine home, which is the larger city near Felonius. And he showed me all around. He showed me a cool church. He made me a dish that he is famous for. And yeah, all in all, it was just a fantastic time. So, but I had to decide what I'm going to do in terms of a build. Now, there's the Swedish flag, and this, imagine, is a black tile wall, and imagine that it stretches from floor to ceiling in the Mojang office, and on the tiles themselves are other colored tiles, a mosaic, if you will, that depicts kind of famous little Minecraft scenes. And so I really was so inspired by this wall that I'm going to duplicate it here. And I've got a section of the wall that I'm duplicating kind of block for block. Now, it's not going to look tiled because all of these have smooth textures. I really wish it would look like this, where you could see the outline of each block. but I don't have a consistent palette with which to do that unless I use shulker boxes. Actually, wait a minute. There we go. That looks like black tiles. So let's see if I can make this. And it's cool. They'll all pop out. I don't know. I think that's cool. Now I might actually, looking at this picture that I'm copying, I may end up taking a little bit of liberty and switching it up, because I do see one part that isn't quite correct, and I want it to, more importantly, I want it to have enough room to get the whole picture in. I'm going to do it block for block, because this is what I saw. This is my memory. I'm going to do it block for block. Like, for some reason, there's a gap here in the picture that they have on their wall. Like, there's, like, it's kind of messed up. A couple of the tiles are messed up. But that's okay. I'm gonna do it as faithful as I can. So, clearly, I'm not going to get much more in than Steve. I'm not going to get Alex in, as I was hoping. So let's put in the skeleton. Now the skeleton's bow is going to be here. We'll give him 1 block for his arm and then 1 block for his face. That's all I can afford to do. So, sorry, Mr. Skeleton. It's just the limitations of me only having so many blocks with which to make you. So that is an homage to the tile wall at Mojang, which has like 5, 6 of these long stripes. These are like 1 inch, maybe 2-3 centimeter tiles by 2-3 centimeter. So imagine like a, I don't know, 12-foot wall done up in tiles. It's so cool. You see a picture there on the screen. And now the other piece that I want to memorialize, because I'm not really going to be able to do everything, is my hotel. And the hotel is a yellow color, so I might use the smooth sandstone. And what I'm going to do is we're going to make it like this is a wall inside the hotel, and then right about here is going to be a window looking out. Well, we're going to have to do it right about here. So you're kind of looking into the hotel. Oh, and I don't want to cut off Steve's arm, so we're gonna do like this, and then right here it kind of comes in like this, and we're not going to go all the way up against that. We're not going to go all the way up against that. And then there's a stone path here up to the door. And so this is going to be something like this. It's kind of on an angle. Again, this is an artistic representation of everything. I may use block that I don't hardly ever use, which is andesite. And then in my mind, the overarching piece should be iron bars. And something like this. Oops. Now this is the entrance to the Skepshomen. We're going to go with some nice doors, even though I would say that the hotel had doors with glass in them. We'll indent them a little bit like that. Whoops. And then this here was like the main check-in desk and a restaurant where we had some amazing meals. But so that I don't lose the build here, we're going to just make it like this. And again, I don't want to take up the flag. It is a representative build. Now, also, my room was up on the top floor and not on the bottom floor. And I can just put some slabs like this. So it's going to be a cross-cut kind of diorama within a diorama here, if that makes any sense. I don't want to mess up Steve too much, more than I already have. Now, the building was very plain architected, and the thing that made it interesting is that right about here, it was on a slant. So, and I'm a pretty tall guy, but you can imagine me having to duck under here to look out the window. And that is exactly what I had to do. Now, whoop. There we go. Yep, that's about how slanty my room was. And then, let's put some... Now the room, or the roof I should say, was kind of a dark gray. We're going to use this block, and the reason is because around the window frames on the outside was again the greenish color that I was looking for here that I didn't really find, and the building itself was very plain, but it had a little bit of green trim. Okay, so there is the exterior of the hotel. I think in order to make my room, I am going to have to fill this block in. Well, it has to be done. It has to be done. And in my room, we only had 2 chairs on a gray carpet. And that was it. and then a little light over in the corner. Actually, there was 2 lights. One in this corner and one standing up here. We'll depict it like that. And there were 2 chairs kind of facing out this way. And then these chairs were in a gray carpeted area. Like that. And then this was my bathroom. This was the door coming into the room, and then there was a door here to the bedroom, which I'm not going to make. We're going to leave this kind of open, and we will close off the eating area, and we'll leave it open like that. Okay. And this, like I said, there was a desk here. There was a step here up. And then down the hall was all the different rooms. We're not going to put that in. There was a wonderful breakfast buffet and dinner restaurant. We'll put some food there and some drink there. You know what? Let's do this, because there was like tea and coffee being brewed. And we'll do... So my favorite tea while I was there was a bergamot tea with lavender in it. And it was delicious. And I'm not a big tea guy. So I want a color like this that reminds me of the bergamot lavender tea. Even though you can't see the color here, that's okay. So this is representative of the hotel breakfast buffet area, representative of my room looking out across the courtyard from this photo, which needs to be finished with a couple trees. So that's about as good as I think I can do. There was some gravel. That's about as good as I can do in a 10 And there was another little kind of path over here. That's about as good as I can do. And over here, I would have loved to make a boathouse. I don't know. Someday I might actually recreate this island in Minecraft. We'll see. So that was my Swedish visit. I hope you enjoyed sharing this memory with me. And I hope you have some awesome vacations coming up in 2020. Maybe I'll see you at the Minecraft Festival.